If you've been following the AFL preseason, or possibly not even because this has just been shoved in our face so many times, Jimmy Webster has absolutely KO'd Jy Simpkin, and it is extremely dirty. It is a terrible move. It's definitely not footy related, and you don't need this in the game. It's terrible to see. He definitely shouldn't have done it. Jimmy Webster said that he is remorseful for what he's done, but that's mostly because he got caught and he did injure the player. It totally looked like he was out for blood. It didn't look like he was going for the ball at all. The ball's out of Simpkin's hands, and Webster's just cleaned him up for no apparent reason. Why is someone doing this in a preseason game before the actual season starts, in a meaningless game of all things to do it, to try and hurt your opposition and also ruin your chances at playing the first quarter of the AFL season? Why would you do this? It just makes no sense. Anyway, let's delve into this a little bit closer and compare it to previous history for very similar hits, and also why in the world AFL 360 for some reason were beating up on Clarko instead of Webster himself. The whole situation is just weird. I don't know if it's just Robbo's take. It's always very bizarre. Let's take a look at what they had to say on AFL 360.
Alistair Clarkson's involvement with this, and we'll give you a glimpse of what was picked up on the television coverage. So he wasn't coaching North Melbourne and he didn't restrain his fury at quarter time. It's an expletive-laden tirade toward Webster, who obviously heard what was coming his way. Clarkson was moved to apologise.
For those watching at home, you probably saw that this happened with 1 minute left in the first quarter, and then obviously Clarko's come out and absolutely sprayed Webster, and just look at his body language. He's just laughing in the face. He's just totally knocked him out. He knows he's severely injured him, and all AFL players would know of the current history and the very relevant history. Angus Brayshaw, who is no longer able to play footy, and his battles with concussion. And he's just laughing in Clarko's face for calling him, I'm not going to say it on here, but he did call him a word that he shouldn't have, definitely. AFL 360 for some reason believe it's a homophobic slur. You probably could say it is, but I don't think he was using it in that context. I think he was saying that that guy is a loser, is what he was trying to get across. He wasn't criticising anyone for their sexuality. He's just said, that's a dirty play, you're an absolute loser. He said it in some harsher words than that, of course, but for some reason AFL 360 have decided to pick on the coach who's sticking up for his players, especially the captain who the opposition has knocked out. Why would you not go out there and just say, you are an absolute loser, I hope you get what you deserve? What's he supposed to do? Just stand there and be like, oh, that wasn't very nice of you? It's absurd. AFL 360 have made Clarko the villain in all of this when Webster's the one who's gone out and completely KO'd an opposition. It's so dumb. Please keep in mind, I am a Crow supporter. I have no affiliation with North Melbourne or St Kilda. I just think the way this whole situation was handled is extremely bad. And to top it off, there's actual pictures of Jimmy Webster's family mocking Simpkin, and his family members are getting in on it before it was shortly deleted. But the internet holds all. Just shows you the quality of family and the people that surround him. If he's like it, it's most likely his siblings are also like it. It's just extremely poor taste from them for someone who's been severely injured. Rant semi over, and then now let's take a look at some other hits that were very similar and what suspensions they got. So you can see that this Cozzy Pickett hit here on Smith was given 2 weeks, which he accepted, and I think most people, including myself last year, were saying that this was just absolutely absurd. He's clearly launched himself, and because Bailey Smith got back up, it's only a 2 week suspension. That is so dumb. If it was someone else or he hit him slightly different on the chin, he could have been knocked out and then it would have been 4-6 weeks, who knows. Again, the AFL are paying the outcome, not the incident. Because Webster's hit him very similar, this should be a big suspension, and now we know it is a 7-game suspension, which I think is fair. In this video clip, you can see that Crouch has hit Gardner, and for this he was given a 1-match suspension, which he accepted. Paddy Ryder got a 2-week suspension for this hit on Will Day. It was late and it was a little bit high. I thought this was a little bit harsh for 2 weeks. The only reason he actually got 2 weeks from the outcome in the end was that Will Day was concussed and he wasn't able to play next week, so Paddy Ryder got 2 weeks. Again, I don't think that is the same level of hit as Cosy Pickett on Smith, yet they're the exact same suspension. And Lockie Hunter was given a 1-match suspension for this head-high hit on Connor Ozee. Now, you're probably asking why am I showing these ones, some of them spanning back from a couple years. These are very low 1-2 game suspensions. I do think that the Webster hit is a lot more severe than that, definitely. But you can actually see that the AFL are finally starting to click that this is more of an important issue than they've previously realised, especially with the recent retiree Angus Brayshaw not being able to play footy ever again due to the concussions that he received, especially the Maynard one. That one's been talked to death. Let's not go there again. But I think it is important to note that it is a 7-match suspension, and so maybe this is the year that the AFL finally start to think that the head-high hits are an issue in our game. And after it went to tribunal, the AFL were going for 8 weeks. The St Kilda defence were going for a lot less than that. But would you believe it, even if I told you that he was given somewhere in between 6 to 8, what's in there? 7 weeks. And guess who St Kilda are playing in 7 weeks' time in round 8 when Webster will be available again. They'll be playing North Melbourne. You can't make this up. This is a script that the AFL are playing. It's ridiculous. Why not 6? Why not 8? Put it at 7 because then you know they'll have the rematch and they can sell that on AFL 360. I can almost guarantee you right now that there will be some graphic, some video clip shown off the bump and how they're out for blood and they're going to absolutely destroy each other, try and hype up the game, get sales, get viewership, all for money. I know it might be a bit conspiracy theory, but I can all but guarantee you that this will happen. I will put money on it. I don't do gambling on this channel, but I can all but guarantee that we will see some sort of promo of these two guys hating each other and they're out for blood, because that sells views, that sells tickets, and then that means more revenue for the AFL and Fox Footy. And anyway, I'm going to leave you with the final clip here from the AFL 360, which are for some reason trying to call out Clarko for, and again, I do agree, he probably shouldn't have used that terminology, but in the heat of the moment, they're saying you can't use that defence in heat of the moment when Webster's just done the exact same thing. He's knocked someone out, he's your captain, and it's 2 minutes later, Clarko's come out and seen him and just said, "You're a loser," and he's just looking back smiling at you. How would that not make you absolutely livid that he's out there while Simpkin's done for the rest of the day and won't be available for probably a couple weeks? I don't know. It depends on his recovery. Why would you not be mad? And then for some reason, AFL 360 are trying to paint Clarko as the villain here. I think I don't know if they were just trying to piss people off or what, but this is a terrible take by them in my opinion. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video somehow, please make sure you are subscribed and leave a comment below if you like the new intro. Thanks for watching, and I am fired up for the AFL season. Let's go. Thanks for watching.
Level of, is there a punitive aspect to Clarkson's actions?
Oh, in my opinion, there has to be. Can't think of any other major sport around the world where one of the senior most respected figures uses, we're not going to say the language, we're not even going to say it, but you should know it by now, using that language, and the league that they're playing in says, no, that's okay, you can be homophobic. Because the AFL can't preach inclusion, diversity, and then have one of their senior figures in the game slap that word onto a player in the heat of the moment.